All right, so this will be day 2, second session. So we had 2 sessions yesterday and had a session this morning, and then this is our session this afternoon. I'm going to start, good afternoon, I'm going to start with our walking this rainbow arc. And this is, as I've shared before, my way of creating neutral. So this just means that she can settle, drop some roots. It's always a nice place to begin. Certainly it's not always the place I would begin. If I stepped in here and she really needed to move her body, that would be okay. But if she's able to settle like this, then I really like this. Other thing I'm going to start doing is what I was doing this morning, where I bring in my walking stick in this moment. Basically, it's doing the same thing my feet are doing. My stick is just kind of walking with me, and that's part of what I want to help her become comfortable with, is that this stick can just walk with me. And easier, having the stick on my outside hand is easier for her to adjust to, but she's doing really well with it. I can have it on my inside hand. The important thing is that I'm not directing it at her. It's like I'm painting this wall that goes around her body. If I was to go to her, like if she was there and I did like this, I would be asking her body to move. But in doing this, I'm actually asking her body to stay. I'm painting this wall. And she already comprehends this first from my path that I've traveled this way, just by walking. Now I'm adding the stick. The next step is to stop my feet and keep the stick going. This is actually harder, though she's totally passing with flying colors now. This was harder this morning. She didn't quite understand this morning. Right there, she's even thinking about leaving, but she didn't. Nice. So I might go here, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to the next step, which is even more advanced, which is being able to go from both sides, painting the wall this way. That felt concerning to her when I stretched my arm out like that. I'm just going to play with that a little bit more. So this is my neutral. I always want to be able to come to this neutral place anytime to help us settle. It's a peace pocket. It's one of our beginning peace pockets. You beautiful girl. Our lovely lady has 2 whirls. She is most definitely a unicorn. Yes, you are. Yeah. Oh, so nice. All right. Gonna let her soak that. And then, so where we left off this morning was starting to add a little energy to her. Well, actually, what happened was, notice how when I walked towards, how that was scary. That's a new thing to be able to do. Haven't really done that, so I'm not gonna do that as I'm walking towards. I'm gonna go back into my. We weren't ready for that yet. That felt like that felt like a wall that was coming towards her, which it was, and she didn't know if that wall was going to stop when it got to her. Of course, my intention would have been to stop the wall before it got to her, but she didn't know that. So that's why she got concerned. So I'm just going to go back and remind her that the wall never runs into her. I would never run this wall into her. She could perhaps run into it, but I would always make it really clear where that wall was. So that's super important. But then, so I'm going to go back to my feet being still making the wall, see if I can do it in this eye, and then be able to come. And so what was happening earlier today, we were at this point, and really felt like she was kind of reaching out to me and ready for some connection, but yet was intimidated about my super close proximity. And so I realized that because of that, I needed to practice her feeling more pressure in her body while I'm guiding her body. Because me being closer to her body naturally makes her feel more pressure in her body. And when she feels pressure in her body and she doesn't know what to do with it, her go-to is to go after the thing, which I love. There's different things that Mustangs will do. Some of them will try to run away. I mean, they're all going to try to run away if they, but some of them are going to really try to run away that are like super flighty. Some of them are like Abe. Like Abe never was chargy, but if he didn't feel like he could run away, then he immediately went into attack mode and started going at something with his feet. So that can happen. Or sometimes if they get if they feel pressure in their body and it's not easy to just run away, then the response can be to charge at something. And she's already done that numerous times, enough to know that that's in her language to do that. So that's just information that's good for us to have. Okay, I'm doing more talking and we need to start moving, don't we? All right, so now I'm actually going to ask her to walk off. So now see how the stick is actually going towards, like this. Before it was like this. This is towards. She says, what? Hey. Hey. And so I'm really not wanting to escalate pressure. I am adding a little bit what I kind of stepped into her. So, I mean, that is escalating pressure. It's increasing the pressure to some degree. But I would rather, do something minute like that rather than use my stick harder. That's what I mean. I don't want to do. Don't want to use my stick harder. All right, so the thing that we need to be practicing now is being able to move and become comfortable with me guiding her thoughts while she's in movement. So the way that I feel like the horse's thoughts are guided through their shoulders, and this little piece she's already familiar with from how she was loaded onto the trailer. So she understands when I'm behind her tail how to guide her shoulders. What she's not comfortable with is when I guide her shoulders and I'm at her side or in front a little bit, which is what I need to be able to do. And you can see how she would like to go the other way. Like this is everybody always has a way they're more comfortable, and this is not hers. She's a lot more balanced than a lot of Mustangs, I would say, as far as being pretty balanced both directions, but she still would prefer me in her left eye, which is fine, but I'm just gonna play with this one. Nice. All right, so there's no point in going any faster than this until we can do this, right? So I'm not going to ask her to step up into any more than just this walk until we can walk quietly without her trying to change direction, because everything just becomes amplified when we add speed because the pressure increases. Speed increases the pressure in her body. And notice how I'm kind of just walking my stick with her, kind of like it's one of her footfalls. My feet have to slow down a little because I'm in the middle of the circle. The fact that she can have that wee bit of a lick and chew is good. Didn't last long. She kind of swallowed it. Now she's doing it again. Anytime she can release inside of the movement is a big win. A really good thing. Nice. Nice. Little snorty, but she's doing it. She's doing it. That's pretty good. I'm going to look at her hip there and draw away. Well done, my dear. Well done. She's blinking her right eye kind of quickly. Now she's blinking both. There we go. I feel like there's something that happens when they're blinking one eye more than the other. When they settle and both eyes blink together, you can just feel that they're settling. They're kind of blinking one eye rapidly and not the other. It's like they're working through something. Well done. I'm going to walk around to this side. Now, if she goes to walk off, I'm going to go back to my neutral place, that rainbow arc. If she doesn't go to walk off, then I'm going to go ahead and, and ask her to walk off. Nice. All right, we're going to walk this way. Well done. See how that left ear is pretty well hooked on me. I think she is going to be a dream at Liberty. Yeah. So notice this direction, she's already quieter. Yeah, she likes to move the dogs. We go back the other way. So this she already knows how to do from what she learned as she learned to get on the trailer while she was still a wild horse. So at first I was feeling a little resistant to asking her to move her shoulder away from me like that. So I don't want her thinking about turning into the rail. But then as we progressed, I started to really realize, I mean, that's a language that she's very comfortable in right now. And it's not that she's doing it to try to leave. It's just something she comprehends. And so I thought, okay, well, if she comprehends it, I'm going to use it to our advantage. So I am just including that in our language now rather than saying, oh, I'm not going to ask her to step towards the rail. It doesn't bother her to step towards the rail like that because she's already worked through that question mark and really understands it well now. This is really nice. So she's still got that inside ear pretty locked on to me, but she's pretty comfortable walking this circle. And I think I'm going to do one. She's feeling a little more pressure in her body just from the dogs taking off and running around. So I think I'm going to let her draw in one more time. And then perhaps the next time we'll ask for a little more forward than this. All right, so I'm going to take my eyes have been on her barrel. I'm going to take my eyes to her hips and I'm going to draw away just like that. And that was just perfect. And then I'm going to go into my walking this arc around her body. This is saying that you can just ground, not going to ask anything of you, and bring my stick into it. Well done. I'm going to stay on this side. I'm going to go back to my neutral place a bit. I'm not going to stay here long though because she's understanding that well. All right, let's go and walk off. Nice. So we're just going to establish our direction again. Just that nice little steady walk. And then I'm going to ask her to step up to a trot. Good. So right there. So the trot itself is not what I'm saying yes to. Saying yes to her allowing the energy in her body to elevate and move on through. And you'll notice she did that little nose bump. That's a pretty clear sign with her that she's feeling the pressure and she's not quite sure what to do with it. Not quite sure that she likes it. Not quite sure that it was her idea. In fact, it was not her idea. Therefore, is it actually okay? It's kind of a boss mare kind of vibe, which is one of my favorite vibrations in the world. All right, so as we come back around, I'm going to do the same, kind of in that same general space. Ah, nice. Nice. So I'm not continuing to ask, but I'm not really stopping. I'm just kind of going back to the level of ask that was the walk. Really nice. So I just want to practice bumping up into that second gear and being able to come back down. That was really good. When we did this tracking right this morning, she kind of came undone. And I realized I needed to practice it tracking left a little bit more because this is her better way. And then practice it tracking right. So we'll see what that looks like this afternoon. I wonder if I should move. I think I'm going to move our stuff. Well done. All right, let her take a breath for a second. And I'm going to move our tools to the other side, or move our video rather. All right, it might be a little bumpy road for a second. I'm going to carry you across the pin here because I think it's going to be a better, I think you're going to see more of her from over here. I think we're kind of going off screen as she's using the space more than she has been. When we've done so much at the walk where she just hasn't really felt the need to use all of her space. Now she's wanting to use her space more, and she's going all the way out to the rail, which makes it, she kind of disappears, I think, for a second. All right. Let's see if I can prop you up here. Okay. All right, let's see how that does. I'll move this one over too. Yeah. So me walking back and forth like this is a similar feel to when I'm asking her to ground and I'm walking that arc, that rainbow arc around her body. So I love that she's able to just settle back into that space so quickly. All right, I think we're back. See how this view does. All right, so we were just tracking left. I believe YouTube is flipping our screen, fortunately. I got to figure out how to fix that, but I am standing on her left side right now. So if you're looking at me and looks like I'm standing on her right side, then the screen is flipped. And it's cockeyed. Let me fix that. Yeah, that was nice. Very cockeyed. Okay. All right, so let's go back. Well, actually, are you ready to track left a little? Or keep tracking left? Yeah, let's track left a little more. All right, just gonna start at our walk. See how at the walk, she's pretty comfortable walking a fairly small circle. And you can see her nostrils every now and then. She takes like a big breath, blows it out kind of hard. All right, see if we can pick up our pace a little bit. Nice. So when I feel her pick up that pace, I'm gonna stop asking for more. So I don't want to get hung up on the actual transition walk to trot. It's more about her energy coming up and moving through her body more freely. Nice. Right there. You see, I was actually getting ready to stop asking when she went ahead and kind of stepped over into the trot. The thing we're really practicing here is just flexing that muscle. Now, right there, that too. That we're also practicing. So me being able to scoop that shoulder up, move it laterally when she's feeling more pressure in her body. That's the thing we need. We can do that behind her tail. I can do that behind her tail pretty easily because she's already learned it when I'm behind her. That's how she was loaded onto the trailer. What she's not yet super comfortable with is when I'm more in the front and I'm asking that shoulder to move over. And she's a little more triggered to come at me when she feels that kind of pressure. So a little more forward. Nice. Nice. And that was so well done. I'm going to draw away and let her take a breather from that because that was really, really nice. Really nice. I think I'm going to walk my rainbow here a bit and let her just take a breath and settle. That was really nice. And then the next thing we're going to do is work on being able to go the other direction. I should practice using my left hand. I like to use my right hand for things. See if I can stop my feet, keep the stick going. See if I can cross both sides. Nice. Nice. Oh, that was great. All right. My way over here. And get in this right shoulder. I'm going to keep kind of walking back to her tail. So I actually want her to track. Move her around this way. Nice. Using that. All right. So now I really would like to be able to just walk. I know this way is a little harder for her. So I want to just be able to walk a circle. And I'm looking for her to be able to keep walking and not try to turn away from me to leave. Nice. Really nice. And then when I get back around to the opposite side, directly opposite from the camera, I feel like that'll be a good spot to ask for a little more forward because she's naturally a little more on the rail there, right here. So this is the way, that's kind of what was happening this morning, but it was a lot more, it was a lot more elaborate than that. But you notice how when we were tracking left, again, I think my screen might be flipped. And notice that little posturing there. See how she's kind of like looking into me, like curling. It almost looks like she's kind of curling around me, which will be really pretty and wonderful down the road to shape that. But right now, it's something to be aware of. It's basically her saying, I'm not totally comfortable with you over there. Really not comfortable with you having me move fast in that right eye. And that's okay. I need to know these things. So we're just going to practice a little bit of asking for that forward thought right here. And then taking off the ask as soon as she steps up into it, just like that. I think it's really interesting to notice the difference of how much softer she can step into the trot tracking the other way. And everything is connected, so her physical body, I'm sure, feels more comfortable tracking the other way. So it's all the things. It's every emotion and mental, physical. There's no separation. A little bit more. And I actually don't care that she steps into the actual trot. I'm just looking for that free, like a free flowing forward thought, like where you can just feel her kind of freely send her body forward. See that? Ooh, see that? That was a little baby, so I am going to drive that shoulder all the way around. That was a little baby, geez, I can't say the word. What's the word? Maybe I should pay attention to you rather than try to say the word. Like posturing that turns into like diving in, like a little charge. It didn't turn into one, but that was a baby one. All right, so I do want to get us back going the other direction, but I really did want her to feel that shoulder leave, go all the way around the other way. Well done. Go back to our rainbow. Now I want to be careful I don't just rush into having her take back off to the right, because I need her to know once I start this motion, I have to give her time to actually come down. So if I'm going to start this, I have to be willing to go all the way and let her really settle. There we go. If I had felt like I needed to just get on the other side and have her move again, then I shouldn't have started making this motion. This motion means there's a peace pocket. See how she's kind of feeling the need to keep facing up with me here? A little more concerned about me now than she has been. She's not sure if I'm a friend or a foe. So I'm just gonna go back to this thing that we know. Maybe the next time I'll just go ahead and get back over here, because I would like to get her moving again, but I don't want to skip over this part. I want her to be able to see the fact that she's needing to keep turning to face me means that she's feeling on guard. So and I have a feeling that she's going to have some multiple probably little charges at me, and that's okay. I just want them to come in a way that I can handle them, that I can redirect. So it's important that I'm not skipping ahead too fast and bite off more than we can chew, so to speak. Because if I have to make my energy really big to try to block that charge, assuming that I even could, you know, that becomes scary. And so I don't want to have to do that. I want her to be able to understand that my energy being big can just move through her body. Yeah, just through, and not like bounce off of it. There's a difference in moving away from something because you're feeling afraid of it, and moving with something, and yet the something is coming towards you, and therefore you're moving away, but you're moving together. Like, that's really what it should feel like between she and I. We should move together as she moves away. But there's going to be probably some times in the beginning where it's a little more of bouncing off of each other. We just don't want to run into each other. That would be unfortunate. Nice. All right. That was nice. And still see how she feels like she needs to keep turning her face a little more when I'm on that right side. All right. I do want to play with the right side, though. Yeah. We can spend more time at the walk. We don't have to go right up to that TROT. And again, we don't have to go up to it at all. Just want her to be able to feel a little pressure rise inside of her body and then come back down. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I think I have to also remember about words, nice, good girl, things of that sort. At this stage, they're really more for me than they are for her. So I want to be careful that I'm not saying them when she's feeling the opposite emotion, because then I'm actually starting to teach her that that word means the opposite of what I intend for it to mean. So that's something I have to pay attention to. A little more forward. That's it. Right there. Just a little more elevation. That's all I'm asking for. Again, that's a piece that she's already familiar with, so I'm going to utilize that. Okay, so see, so right there, that's better. So right there, she went forward. She kind of dove in towards me, and then she kind of lined back out a little bit. So that was good. So she came back down. When she comes in towards me like that, I don't want to have her feel a release from that space, because that space is, those are when the thoughts she's thinking are about diving in towards me to push me out of the way. So I don't want her to feel a yes from that thought. You can kind of see too when she goes to try to turn away into the fence and turn away, you'll notice that I'm using my stick a little more as a wall than as something that's driving. Nice. Good poop. Perfect poop. Perfect poop. That was lovely. Absolutely lovely. Well done. Well done. I think everyone should get so excited about a good, healthy poop as we do when a horse poops healthy. Well done. Walk on. Nice. See if we can pick up our pace a little. See, kind of feel that resistance, and then she came on through. It's a little sticky. It's a little stickiness in there. There it is. And see that little tip in? I want to be able to push the shoulder out. Ah, see that? Well done. So that's the kind of stuff I want to play with, is right there where it's just, I really want to keep working on that other shoulder though. I need to stay in this space where I'm able to bounce off of that. And I don't want it, I'm not intending for it to turn into like a big thing. It's just that. I just want to be able to toss the energy and have it take her that away, right? Yeah. All right, so we are going to go this way a bit because I'm sure we need to practice the same thing over here too. See the arc through her body? That's like baby posturing. Little baby posturing right there. It's almost like the thought of it's there. It's not even quite fully in her body. They get really pretty when they go into a posturing position. The neck arches, they get all prancy, and then they come at you. So I would like her to be able to go a little more. So I'm looking to say yes when the shoulder bounces away from me like that. And then I have to be really careful to just take all the pressure off. She's still walking. I mean, if she even needed to come down to a stop, that would be okay. I would like for her to be able to walk. I didn't ask for that. Just fine. When they don't really understand yet what it means to direct their thoughts, thus, i.e., move the shoulder, if you just try to hold the shoulder out there, then you need more contrast. You need it to be kind of black and white. Go ahead and look at the hip, let her draw in. This is one of the reasons that I'm not getting too fixated on our draw, because the draw shall come. She's already got a bunch of draw. I love a bunch of draw. I do. That's the good stuff. See how she's needing to turn her head kind of extra as I come? Like, watch this way. Watch how I can kind of get over into this left eye pretty good. And remember, the YouTube video has it flipped. But I can get pretty far over here. She's still needing to track me. If you look back at our earlier videos, you'll see she really wasn't needing. She wasn't this concerned with me then. I've added a new level. Now, look right here. Look how she wants to keep me in her. See, that's new. That's new. That is because that she's just not as confident with me in that right eye. So I'm not really going to force myself over there, but I would like to just practice being able to do my little back and forth deal, kind of ease into that eye. Right there. I'm not asking anything. Just want it to be okay for me to be here. She says, it's not really okay for you to be here. That is what I say. Yeah, let me get back in that spot. Okay, and then I think, oh yeah, man, that does a wide screen. I thought she was off camera. All right. I would like to, she would like for me not to be on that right side right now. So I'm going to go ahead and let her move. See the nose? Boom, boom, boom. She's on guard. On guard. So I'm not even going to ask for the trot right now because I feel like there's enough pressure inside her body already, just with the walk. And I'm just going to kind of practice ambling, but I'm going to be ready to push that shoulder out right there. Nice, if I need to. Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm just going to take everything off. That's where that contrast comes in. Like I got to be careful that I'm not going to a place where I'm kind of begging her shoulder to stay out, because if I do too much of that, kind of stay in that gray area, then she's just going to keep pushing back. And it's got to be, when you're learning new things, you just really need it to be like black and white. Like the answer is easy to find, and when you get there, everything stops. Everything that was confusing stops. So I need to be careful about that with her, because this is a really delicate place to be in. It's a really powerful place to be in, as are the delicate places, right? But I want to make sure she really feels the yes. So I'm just giving her a lot of contrast by really getting out of her way. And all right, I'm going to check our equipment. Yeah. Boop, boop. Now, for right now, I don't mind her going ahead and walking off as I approach, because I really need to take advantage of feet not being sticky, because that stickiness. So right there, see how she established that path of travel all on her own. None of that was my idea. So we've kind of the tables have turned a little bit here, and she's kind of in a space of trying to take over. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to be careful to. This is okay though, kind of not. Gonna ask the shoulder just to move on out down the rail here. So I don't want to always. And then I'm just going to take everything off of it. I'm just going to play with that a little bit. Yeah. Because that energy of like going at the shoulder, I mean, she doesn't even really know what to do with that yet. So sometimes I'm kind of needing to do that when the shoulder's really coming at me. But I would like for her just to understand the concept a little more. Nice. That was nice. Shoulder left. Yeah. And this would be harder if we were on the right, but we obviously need to work on it on the left as well. So I'm not going to force her to be tracking right now when we don't even really have it the good way. I'm going to see here if I can just talk that shoulder down the rail a little further. Ah, nice. Just like that. Just like that. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Well done. Well done. I'm going to do the same thing here. As she comes around, the round pin kind of goes oblong. So I'm just going to kind of talk that shoulder down the rail. Right there. Nice. 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 Doing a little shorter breaks here because I want her to feel the flow moving through her body. Not really looking for her to drop and ground right now. I'm wanting her to free up and be able to just let that energy flow across her shoulders. Moving the shoulders is guiding the direction of thought. So to be able to ask those shoulders, so right there, So see how none of that was she letting me guide her. That's all her. All her. If I can stay here and gently guide her out, I'm going to. So when I come back around, I'm going to see if I can walk her out a little more. Yes. Nice, nice, nice. Well done. Well done. Back to a little walk. Well done. There was a subtle little shift where she let me step her out just a little bit. I don't want to have to go to that really big place of you know, snapping the air beside her shoulder unless I'm kind of forced into that spot. I want to be able to go to that spot. I want her to understand what to do with that, but she doesn't fully understand what to do with it, which is why it scares her. And when she gets scared, she thinks that she might need to come after the thing that scares her. She takes life into her own hands. All right, so as we come around here in that same spot, I'm going to do the same thing and see if I can just push her shoulder off the rail just a wee bit. I mean, towards the rail down. She's on the rail right now, but she's going to come off the rail right here because of the shape of the pin. And I'm just going to see if I can, yeah, nice, really nice. That was the right answer. That was well done. That was really well done. Really well done. Yeah, really well done. Ooh, yeah, I really would like to go the other way a little bit. I know you're not fond of it. I don't know what it'll look like. I feel like it would be nice for you to be able to sleep on a little more comprehension of going the other way. So I'm just going to stay at a walk. I'm going to not ask her to go any faster. She's already feeling not comfortable. But I would like for her to feel me in this right eye and be able to go to bed with me not feeling quite so scary in this right eye. It might mean that we don't get as much done over here. I'm not feeling I need to ask her to step up to any more forward. I think that got a little tough. It opened up, you know, you have to stretch to grow, but then sometimes we stretch a little too far, and that shows us where we need to, what we need to actually work on. And we were working on her stepping up more speed this way, but then I realized, nice, that I got that. That was nice. So all I'm going to do is just kind of play with, would like for her to keep tracking the other way. Yep. I just want to stay at a place that I can guide and support. Nice. Nice. Don't really need her to completely turn, just be able to move that shoulder out. Kind of feeling into this to where what feels like she can actually handle. Well done. Definitely feel like if I asked for any more forward, it would throw her over her threshold into a place of feeling defensive again. And I really would like to be able to work on her comprehension of my guidance, of that direction of thought, which means when I'm sending that shoulder out away from me right here, would like for her to have a little more practice in feeling that guidance before we go back up to a higher speed that's going to make everything all of a sudden harder. This is really nice. Of course, this is kind of just maintaining. This is that thing that I was saying, you got to be careful to have enough contrast. But I'm not I'm not pushing her shoulder. I'm not holding it out there. I'm intending that it stay. I'm going to let her come down, but I'm, well done. Yeah, well done. You are brilliant. And of course, all of this is going to fall away as she learns all the wonderful things that are going to come of our relationship, right? There's going to be scratches and all kinds of yummy things and peace. Very, very much peace. Yeah. I'd like to see if we can step back into that right where we were. Just be able to have her be comfortable just ambling around me. No additional guidance from me other than if she was to swing that shoulder in, I would ask it to go back out. I really would love for this to be our Z, our last thing, her being really comfortable with me in this right side. With a little soft conversation with her shoulder. Can see she doesn't have that curled around. You know, the earlier she had that really pretty bascule. Oh, watch out, Garden. And she's relaxing more now. She doesn't feel as concerned. It's very much still there, but not so much as present just within the walk, which is really good. Nice. The fact that she can look out there is really good. Licking and chewing is really good. Yeah. I'm going to look at the tail, draw her in, and then I'm going to do our rainbow as our last thing. If we can come back to this place that's more familiar. So as long as she continues to ground, I'm not going to ask her to move anymore. That was really well done. I feel like we all have some kind of line of defense, be it to run away, shut down, charge, strike, and it seems like each of the Mustangs kind of have their thing. And in my experience, the ones that their go-to is to charge end up being incredibly amazing at just naturally understanding liberty and draw. And Magic is that way. She was definitely had a lot of charge in the beginning, and that transferred into this really sticky connection that she and I have at Liberty, where it's like I can't lose her. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling. Kali has that too. Kali, Magic's sister, obviously she had a lot of charge. Fortunately, I'm not feeling anything near that kind of intensity right now, because Kali's intensity kind of stayed a part of her, and still is. But her liberty is incredible. I mean, Kali has so much draw, kind of has that same feeling as Magic, is like where she sticks to me so much that I feel like I couldn't lose her. And then it's been more the mares, I would say, that in my experience. The gildings, not that they can't be that way, but found that the gildings are a little more, certainly have more of a play drive, but less of a stickiness quality. Like Abe's Liberty is really coming along, but there's not a lot of draw. There's not a lot of natural draw. He's learning how to draw. But I do love a strong, independent woman horse and human. And that's exactly what she is. You are every bit of that. So this I really wanted to be able to come back to. If you rewind a bit or were watching earlier, there was a point that she really was not okay with me in that right eye, and she was needing to turn to try to force me into the left. And whatever they go to sleep with really becomes deeply a part of them by the next day, and they kind of wake up and it's like inside of their body to feel that way. And so I want to be really careful what she goes to bed with. But this is really good stuff to go to bed with, and really good stuff we worked through just now. I mean, we're not done. There's a lot more of that charginess in there. It's going to come back up, and it's especially going to come back up when we add more speed, more forward motion. But the more that we can create communication and understanding along the way, rather than just running into that place and all of a sudden we're there, the better off we'll both be, because we'll have more understanding of how to communicate and how to work through those spots when she gets confused and afraid and a little pissed off. Nice. All right. Go to my feet being still and still moving the stick. Yeah. So good. Yes. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.